sometimes we don't love ourselves and we hope that others will too. And what I mean by others is not necessarily the whole world, but our significant other, our immediately family, and perhaps our closer friends. And sometimes when we feel that love, we feel that they owe us, and we may feel disappointed in them, and we may want them to love us. But let's see if we can give a little bit of that love to ourselves. It's good to feel loved. It's good to acknowledge love. It's good to love. It's good when you are connected with love, either being in a relationship, either being in family or friends, or even with pets and strangers in the world at large. But if you're not feeling the love, if you can't give a little bit of love, it's because you are disconnected from your own love, from your own self. So let's love ourselves a little more, or at least a little bit, as much as we can possibly can. Drink a little bit of water. Okay, let's drink a little bit of water so you can feel a little hydrated. And just go, I love myself. Do you believe that? Well, you might not believe that if you are disapproving perhaps certain behaviors of yours. Perhaps you are not behaving in a way that is conducive to you feeling good, or perhaps in a way that you approve of yourself. But remember, my friend, my darling, that we all fail, we all fall, we all at times don't behave at our best and don't have our best interests at heart, or even others. And it's okay, we are humans, we keep on failing, but we also keep on picking yourself up and remembering and reminding ourselves, what is my true north? Which directions do I want to focus? Do I want to focus on the fact that I fall, or do I want to focus on the fact that I can learn from it and make amendments and move forward? Okay? So if you're not approving of yourself, perhaps you want to be more positive, but it's not happening, so you don't love yourself, or perhaps you lost your calm and you feel embarrassed and ashamed of that, and then you don't love yourself, or perhaps you don't have the energy and the courage to follow your dreams and to believe in yourself, and then you don't love yourself. Okay, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Or perhaps you're feeling a bit low in energy and a bit low in mood, and you feel that you're a drag and you are ruining everyone's experience with your negativity and sort of reports of hardships or whatever that is. So don't be hard on yourself. It is what it is. And whatever you are, it's okay. And sometimes we are high and sometimes we are low. And sometimes we go through spells of feeling good and sometimes we don't. It's part of life, and this sin, we accept that, and also accept that this too shall pass. And remember to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Perhaps you're feeling rejected because you have an expectation, expecting that someone will treat you or talk to you in a certain way. And if you feel rejected through their actions, their physically or direct, indirect, covert, or more discreet manner, if you're feeling rejected, let's breathe in. Perhaps someone is behaving in a way that is obviously they are rejecting you. Either they are very obvious, or is indirectly you are feeling rejected. That's okay. We all want to belong. We all want to feel understood and loved. And sometimes that doesn't happen. But that does not mean that we should ignore and abandon ourselves. That's not the time to abandon ourselves, to feel like a victim. Are you a victim? Do you want to be a victim? Do you want to feel like a victim? No, we don't. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you're feeling rejected by a closed one, parent, sibling, kids, sons, spouse, significant other, friend, you might even feel angry because you feel, if I'm investing this time and this belief, I don't want to be rejected. I'm happy if we go separate ways and accept that, but if you are putting your time and energy in it, I want you to be sincere. I don't want you to reject me, because I'm not rejecting you. But beyond, if we feel angry when we feel rejected in very close relationships, perhaps behind that anger, we're actually feeling sad and disappointed that anger that we perhaps might be pointing a fault, that perhaps that person is not having the best social skills, the best act, because perhaps we're pointing a finger and say, you're not being sensitive, you're not being responsive, or you're not doing your best, or you're being cold and distant. And that might feel more powerful, to feel angry and pointing the faults of others. Perhaps others were not in character and balance. But what about looking at ourselves? What does that make us feel? And behind that anger and frustration of pointing and blaming, perhaps we feel sad that in that moment we didn't feel loved and supported, and we did not receive that love and support that we automatically assumed would be there. You might even feel indignation at what has just happened. But we're going to remind ourselves we can rise above that anger, that sadness, can acknowledge. But first, before lashing out, before speaking out, we're going to connect with ourselves, to take a moment to calm down. And slowly out. Breathe in. And slowly out. Breathe in. And slowly out. We're going to regulate our nervous system. We're going to recognize what is the hurts and sadness behind this, and why we feel rejected. And we're also going to question, do I feel rejected just on this instance? Or is this an accumulation of several times where I felt rejected? Or perhaps we can go even further. Is my reaction proportional? Is it just a one reaction to this one rejection from this one person? Or multiple rejections from this one person that perhaps we didn't have the courage to speak up and to admit and to clarify? Or perhaps might be a hurt, a deep wound inside of us, all the times we felt rejected, either romantically or from parents and family members, or even strangers, or even colleagues. Is that a deep wound that is screaming out, do not reject me? Why you're not loving me? Is it perhaps a little child that is in the driving seat feeling that hurt and then screaming out loud and pointing the faults because underneath is feeling fragile and hurt? Just a little thought for reflection. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we are going, instead of hurting and lashing out and pointing the faults of others, we're going to give ourselves a little love. Breathe in. I love myself. I forgive myself for not being perfect. I forgive others for not being perfect. I forgive circumstances for not being perfect. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm going to let others off the hook. I'm going to focus on the positive of others and myself and the circumstance. And I'm going to recognize that my reaction, my automatic reaction, simply means that I'm struggling with rejection, and that rejection makes me feel sad and angry. But being angry at the person pointing faults is not the solution. It's not the solution. There are other solutions. It's one automatic solution, but there are others. Speaking up your needs, your expectations, what is reasonable, not reasonable, making amendments, apologizing, and asking the other person, why did you behave in that way? I felt this way when you behaved that way. And even healing yourself from past hurts and past projections, and choosing to love yourself. I choose to love myself. And I dare you to choose to love yourself too. I love myself. Do you love yourself? I dare you to love yourself. Breathe in. You can point the faults in others. You can point the faults in you. But there are other solutions, more uplifting, more encouraging. I'm going to choose to focus on what I can do. And right now I can love myself by being compassionate and acknowledging that I have qualities and strength, but also weakness, and sometimes I rise and sometimes I fall. And also have the choice and the option to choose on someone else's. I can either choose on their moment of weakness and their weakness, or I can choose their ability to learn, and that together we can rise and overcome this challenge. If you are being a victim of rejection by someone that truly does not care about you, just simply let them go. If it is a stranger, if it is someone that does not add any value to your life, then just choose to go separate ways. But if it is someone that is meaningful to you, family member, close friend, and then see if you can have a little room in your heart for forgiveness, for an opportunity to know you by yourself and them and learn and grow. But only go at a pace that is healthy. If you are in a very toxic relationship or someone is in danger, physically, mentally, emotionally, seek help so that you and those involved can be supported. A lot of love and support. Choose to love yourself. Choose to support yourself. And let go. Let go of the feeling of feeling rejected, of expecting that others love you. Simply love yourself. I love myself. And I hope that you take a moment every day to love yourself. Not by being a narcissist and thinking that you're superior to others, but simply accepting yourself with your strength and your flaws. Breathe in. Breathe out.